The time 8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Tilani Pires. The headlines. The Energy Minister says no new recruitments for the CEB in 2023. The government is to take over 800,000 acres of barren land for paddy cultivation. The State Ministry for Women and Child Affairs has decided to monitor all the children's homes and orphanages. Tomorrow and the day after declared as a special dengue control days. A special program to be implemented to arrest motorists under the influence of drugs. The Vocational Training Authority has scheduled to enroll 3,000 new trainees for short-term NVQ3 level courses. And on international news, Ukraine's cities have been targeted by a wave of Russian missile strikes. And on sports news, Australia thrashed South Africa by an innings and 182 runs in the second test to win the series. The Minister of Energy and Power, Kanchana Wijesekara, says no new recruitments would be made for the Ceylon Electricity Board next year. He said over 1,000 employees are scheduled to retire in 2023. The minister said that the total salaries and other allowances of the CEB employees for the past 3 months amounted to around 3.6 billion rupees. Minister Wijesekara also noted that the CEB had earned a total revenue of 33.6 billion rupees in October and 35.6 billion rupees in November. However, the minister said the CEB need 35 billion rupees to purchase heavy fuel, oil, naphtha and diesel to operate power stations for the month of January. He said for the coal power plants, the CEB needs another 38.45 billion rupees for the purchase of coal. The government is embarking on a massive countrywide paddy cultivation drive next year. Minister Mahinda Amaravira says the government is planning to cultivate 800,000 acres of barren paddy lands for 5 years commencing from the new year 2023. He said the Agriculture Ministry would implement this initiative of agriculture modernization for food security on the directions of the President, Ranil Wickremesinghe. He added the Asian Development Bank will grant 8 billion rupees to be distributed among 1.2 million farmer families and youth who will participate in the massive paddy cultivation program. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The State Ministry for Women and Child Affairs has decided to monitor all the children's homes and orphanages. The ministry said it will be launched to provide extra protection for the inmates. It added, in many places, the torture of children had been reported during the past few months. The ministry is also planning to introduce tough rules and regulations to address these issues. A special program will be implemented in order to arrest motorists who are driving under the influence of drugs. The senior DIG in charge of Crimes and Traffic Range, Kamal Silva, says that the pilot project will be launched from the Colombo district. Speaking at an event held in Colombo, he mentioned that the necessary equipment required for identifying people who have used illicit drugs have already been imported. He also emphasized that only drunken drivers are being arrested by the police at present and that in the near future, the police will also arrest individuals who drive under the influence and other types of drugs too. The Vocational Training Authority has scheduled to enroll 3,000 new trainees for short-term NVQ3 level courses. The courses are to commence from next January onwards. The authority said these courses will be conducted at their training centres located in all 25 districts of the island. The trainees will be provided with on-site training in their institutes initially, and practical training will be provided with the support of government or private organizations, the Vocational Training Authority said. That ends local news to now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Health Ministry has declared tomorrow as the day after as special dengue control days with the aim of controlling the spread of dengue in 2023. The Health Ministry has declared tomorrow and the day after as special dengue control days with the aim of controlling the spread of dengue in 2023. The Health Ministry emphasizes that as of December 26th, 2022, 75,434 suspected dengue cases have been reported in the country. The ministry said it is more than double the number of dengue cases reported last year. The ministry also said there was a rapid increase in the number of dengue cases during the last 4 weeks throughout the country. The Health Ministry said taking immediate action to prevent the spread of the dengue disease in the country as a leading role. During the 2 dengue prevention days, everyone should look for places where mosquitoes can breed in and around their homes. The heads of the institutions should ensure that these activities are carried out successfully in the institutions, the ministry added. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
Let's celebrate Christmas and New Year with CIB with special gifts, discounts and easy payment schemes available till 31st of December. Come to CIB today.
And on Watchlight tonight, microbiology professor of the Sri Javadanapura University, Neelaka Malavige, says there is no immediate threat to Sri Lanka despite a surge in COVID-19 cases in India and China. She said India at present was not heading for potential new variants, but Indians were concerned as China was having a massive outbreak. There were several of these new Omicron variations in Sri Lanka as well, but residents also had access to 2 vaccines, boosters and additional natural infection-induced protection, Professor Malavige said. That came to you in Watchlight.
Let's celebrate Christmas and New Year with CIB with special gifts, discounts and easy payment schemes available till 31st of December. Come to CIB today.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
We give you the strength to rise higher and higher.
Never step back, but always march forward.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines first. Ukraine cities have been targeted by a wave of Russian missile strikes. COVID in China, US imposes COVID testing for visitors from China. At least 19 dead in a blaze on Thai border at a Cambodia casino fire. The cities across Ukraine have been targeted by a wave of Russian missile strikes. It was said to be one of the largest bombardments since the war began. At least 3 people, including a 14-year-old girl, were taken into hospital after explosions hit the capital Kyiv, Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said. Blasts were also heard in the cities of Kharkiv, Odessa, Lviv and Zhytomyr. Ukraine's military said 69 missiles were launched, with air defenses intercepting 54 of them. The Ukrainian Air Force said Russia attacked the country from various directions with air-sea-based cruise missiles. It added that a number of kamikaze drones had also been used. The US has become the latest country to impose COVID testing on visitors from China after Beijing announced it would reopen borders next week. Italy, Japan, Taiwan and India also announced mandatory tests. But Australia and UK said there were no new rules for travellers from China. After 3 years of being closed to the world, China will let people travel more freely from 8th January. But the country's ongoing COVID surge has sparked wariness, and China is reporting about 5,000 cases a day. But analysts say such numbers are vastly undercounted and the daily case load may be closer to 1 million. Hospitals are overwhelmed and residents are struggling to find basic medicine, according to reports. At least 19 people have been killed in a fire that swept through a Cambodian hotel casino on the border with Thailand, local authorities say. Hundreds of people were in the Grand Diamond City building in the border town of Phuket when the fire broke out after 16:30 GMT on Wednesday. Video circulating on social media showed people apparently jumping or falling from upper floors. The hotel casino employs 400 workers and had many Thai nationals as guests. Many of the victims are thought to have been trapped on upper floors, and a Thai volunteer organization, Ruam Katnayu Foundation, said it was unlikely that they could have survived. Back to the world news headlines. Ukraine's cities have been targeted by a wave of Russian missile strikes. COVID in China, US imposes COVID testing for visitors from China. At least 19 dead in a blaze on Thai border at a Cambodia casino fire. That ends World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
Amidst all challenges, we will rally around you and advance.
In the face of hardships, let's stand strong together.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News.
Sri Lanka is to set up a Data Protection Authority DPA next year to protect personal data. The State Minister of Technology, Kanaka Herath, says the government enacted the Personal Data Protection Act recently, thereby becoming the first South Asian country to introduce comprehensive data protection legislation providing provisions to establish this independent authority. He added the data regulator will operate independently and will collaborate with other institutions such as the Central Bank, Securities Exchange Commission and the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka. That came to you on Development News. Coming up, sports news. Australia thrashed South Africa by an innings and 182 runs in the second test to win the series with a game to spare. Resuming on 15-1, South Africa were bowled out for 204 before tea on the fourth day at the Melbourne Cricket Grounds. Off-spinner Nathan Lyon claimed 3 for 58, including Temba Bauma for 65, while Kaya Zondo and Keshav Maharaj were needlessly run out. The final test in Sydney starts on 3rd January. Australia, who won the first test inside 2 days, extended their lead over India at the top of the World Test Championships table. South Africa, who began the series in second place, are now at fourth place. Australian captain Pat Cummins described his side, who have won 7 of their 11 tests in 2022, as the best test team that he had played so far. That was sports news.
The fastest way to earn the highest interest. An interest rate of 22% in 4 months. NSB, the safest place for your money.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
And on business news, Frama, one of Sri Lanka's first fully-fledged digital banking experiences powered by Nations Trust Bank, recently partnered with Helios to provide a much-anticipated buy now, pay later solution to all its customers, along with exclusive season offers at selected merchants. Through this collaboration, customers can enjoy a buy now, pay later facility for a product valued up to 200,000 rupees with monthly installments of up to 12 months. That was business news.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The fastest way to earn the highest interest. An interest rate of 22% in 4 months. NSB, the safest place for your money.
Economic News. Courtesy of...
For the 5th consecutive year, LOLC is awarded People's Financial Services Brand of the Year at the 2022 Slim Kantar People's Awards. As the People's Financial Services Brand of the Year, LOLC continues to place the customer first. And this has won the hearts, minds and trust of Sri Lankans, with yet another prestigious award as proof of this lasting commitment. LOLC. Imagine the possibilities.
Minister Manusha Kara says over 300,000 Sri Lankans have left the country for overseas employment. According to figures of the Foreign Employment Bureau, year 2023 is recorded as the year in which most of Sri Lankans went for overseas employment. Since the government is giving benefits to the migrant workers, the foreign remittance is increasing and the target is to achieve $1 billion per month at the end of 2023, he added. That came to you in Economic News.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
Weather Report.
The Met Department says mainly fair weather will prevail over the island. Mainly fair weather will also prevail over the sea areas around the island and sea areas off the coast, extending from Mannar to Puttalam and from Mathara to Hambantota, may be fairly rough at times. That was the weather report. And now to end this news broadcast, the main points once again. The Energy Minister says no new recruitments for the CEB in 2023. The government is to take over 800,000 acres of barren land for paddy cultivation. The State Ministry for Women and Child Affairs has decided to monitor all the children's homes and orphanages. Tomorrow and the day after declared as special dengue control days. A special program to be implemented to arrest motorists under the influence of drugs. The Vocational Training Authority has scheduled to enroll 3,000 new trainees for short-term NVQ3 level courses. And on international news, Ukraine cities have been targeted by a wave of Russian missile strikes. And on sports news, Australia thrashed South Africa by an innings and 182 runs in the second test to win the series. That ends this news broadcast.